Logical grammar of English for Arabic speakers. Today we are looking at spelling in English, which can sometimes be a challenge for learners. When we compare English with Arabic, we find that Arabic is much more of a phonetic language, and by that I mean that each letter of the alphabet is a symbol that represents one sound. This is not the case in English, and we are going to look at some examples that may present difficulties when spelling. So let's look at activity 1 here, where we have a combination of letters for a single sound. The first one of these is SH, and you see how this is represented in Arabic with one letter. In English, we have two letters, sh. So if we look at the pronunciation here, at the beginning of words we find shine, shape, shore. We also can find the sh sound in the middle of words, as in fashion, cushion, washing, and also at the end of words, ash, cash, flash, crash, and dish. Now you should repeat these sounds and make sure that you can pronounce and spell these words. The problem, however, is that this sh sound is not always represented by just the sh letters. And when we look at some examples here, we find, for example, station, relation, mention, situation, where the sh sound is spelled with a ti. Then we have social, racial, with ci representing the sound. We have pleasure, sure, and measure, where we have an su, discussion, vision, nauseous, relationship. So in the case of all these examples, you need to learn the spelling. The next combination of letters we come to is ch, which is pronounced as cha. And this is often difficult for Arabic speakers, as this sound is not found in Arabic. Let's compare. The problem is that sometimes it may be pronounced as a sha instead of a cha sound. So here we have examples. We have ships, chips, sheep, cheap, shoes, choose, share, and chair. And you have many other examples here, both initially at the beginning of words and at the end of words. Now also, this sound can be represented with a tch, as in switch, itch, and watch. Sometimes, however, the letters ch represent a k sound, so as we have in ache, stomach, architect, and school. Right, so let's move to the next group of letters. We have dg, which combines to make a j sound, as we find in judge and judgment. Sometimes the this j sound, which is like the Arabic jim, is spelt with a g. So we have rage, cage, and then we have edge, ledge, ridge, which is the dg sound. One combination of letters gh represents a number of sounds. So let's look at some of the examples here. We have ghost and aghast, where gh is pronounced like a g sound. Then we come to words enough, tough, and rough, where the gh sounds like an f. And then we come to words like although, though, dough, ate, where actually the gh doesn't appear to have any sound. Another combination of letters is the th. Now in English we have two th sounds. If we say thin, it is like the Arabic tha, and if we say this, it is much further, the tongue is much further in the mouth and is much closer to the Arabic the. But in English, it's all right. It's easy to spell because we use th for both of these. So we have thin, then, three, there, father, mother, other, nothing, something. And then when we look at these, we have bath and bathe. Can you hear the difference between the two TH sounds? We have breath and breathe. Now, in some Arabic dialects, S and TH can be confused. I haven't heard this in Emirati Arabic, but you need to be aware of the difference in meaning. So when we have words like sink and think, sing and thing, and so on, mouse and mouth at the end of a word, you have to hear the difference clearly so that you spell them properly. Right, so let's move on here to silent letters. Now this again can be problematic for spelling, as we have many words in English that contain silent letters. So when we look at the first examples here, we have a silent vowel. We have head, bread, where you actually don't really hear the ah sound. If we look at the other side, we have lamb. We don't hear the B, but it's there in the spelling. So you can go through this list here and pronounce the words and notice. For example, if we look down here at the third row, we have no, which sounds just like N-O and is sometimes spelt incorrectly. Now, we have spellings also that do not represent any sound. For example, we have laugh, which is an F sound, and it's spelt with a GH. We have cough, enough, and we saw these already. We have chemistry, which is a K sound, but spelt with a CH. And you have seen some examples of these already. So many, here we move on to activity 6, where we have one sound and we have many spellings. If we take the F sound in the following words, we have find, giraffe with 2, we have laugh, and we have photograph. So we have 4 different ways of representing the F sound. And if you go through the other examples here, you will notice the same problem, or the same issue. Right, now when we come to short vowel sounds, it's sometimes hard to hear these, especially with a, u, and a. And again, you need to learn the spelling of these words, because if we take the first one here, ban, bun, bin, and ben, there's only a slight difference between each one, but each word has a different meaning. And let's move on here. So what you should do here with all of these is pronounce them and then learn the spelling. Let's go to activity 8, which again, with a final E in words, it changes the initial vowel. So let me give you an example. If we look here at the first one, we have hop, where the O is a short vowel. When we put an E at the end, it lengthens the first vowel, so it becomes hope. Then we have kit, kite, car, care, her, here, tub, tube. So you see here that the final E is not pronounced, but what it does, it affects the first vowel sound, and there are lots of activities for you to do here. Then we often double the final consonant when we add a suffix. And you can go through all of these activities and complete the table here. Now, again, vowel sounds are really the problematic area in English spelling. So we have IE and EI, and they may sound exactly the same. So believe. We have E sound. Then we have friend, which is like an S sound. We have chief, grief, thief, and achieve. Really, there is only one way to overcome the problem with these, which is to learn the spelling of the words and go through the various activities here, pronounce them, and learn the spelling. Then we have words that end in Y. Now, Y is, we call it in English a consonant, but it is in fact a semi-vowel. When we come to the spelling of these, Y at the end of a word, when it's a noun, if it follows a consonant, as we have here in the first one, lady and ladies, army and armies, the Y changes to IE. If we jump down here to the third row where we have boy, because there is a vowel in front of the Y does not change to IE. It remains Y and we get boys, toy, toys. And the same is true for the verbs, as we have in cry, cries, and play, plays. And here are lots of activities for you to complete. Now, another problematic area for spelling are words that sound the same but have different meanings. So we see here meet, meet, week, week. We have many, many of these, and again, you need to learn the spelling and be sure you understand them. Right, so you have lots of activities here. Then we have some other words that can be confused: accept, accept, believe, belief, and so on. Right, and the final thing we're going to look at here is what we call consonant clusters. That's where we have a group of consonants coming together. Now, this is not as common in Arabic as it is in English. So there is a tendency for Arabic speakers to put a short vowel between the consonants. So we get, for example, the word spoon. We may hear it pronounced a spoon or a spoon. And what I mean by these consonant clusters are where we have BL, as in, for example, in blue, and bread, and clown, and many more. So you can practice these and you can complete the activities here in the pictures by putting a group of consonants and then pronouncing the word. So what should we pay attention to? Remember that English words are not always spelt the way they sound, so you must learn the spelling of the words. It is also very important when you use the spell check on the computer that you think about the words that you need, because the spell check will not necessarily give you the word that you want.